Got some new parts here. We got kink brace cranks, black 165mm. My other one's broke. If you guys haven't noticed in the last video, I had one black crank, one chrome. So, about time I bought some. It took forever to get here. There was like a delay for like a couple days at like FedEx or whatever. Sent it out, but kind of happy they came in. I'm always impressed. Kink. They even sent some grease, which is pretty nice. So, I also had to get a new bottom bracket because it's a 22mm spindle rather than the 19 that I have on my bike now. Flip this side. I would recommend taking everything off if you're like building a bike. Like this would be the first thing you do. But I just realized that so this one isn't gonna work because it's too small. I'll show you guys really quick what I mean by too small. When you put it in there, see that gap in between the lip and where the thing is? This is called a spacer. That's gonna cause it to rattle and make noise whenever you ride. So I don't know why they make this so small. They might just, I don't even know. So I can't rock one it now because my other ones are 19mm. I just realized that. So we're gonna throw this other bearing in, and if you do have one, use it, but make sure that it gets almost right up to the lip so it's tight and it's hold tension in between these bearings. There's no point in me putting it in because it's gonna be rattling around. It's gonna be super annoying. Sprocket face down, so the decals are facing outside the cranks. What you want to do, pretty simple, is just put your sprocket bolt in there. And I'm not gonna be able to do that with one hand. So now that we got that in, you guys need to make sure your bottom bracket kit should come with this or with your sprocket. It's gonna so most sprockets are all 24mm, and since we only have a 22mm spindle and cranks, we need an adapter. So what you want to do is just throw that in there. You might have a 19, so that's going to give you even smaller, so the spindle fits tight against the sprocket. And what I like to do, I like to put my spindle in here first, so it doesn't matter which side. I'm going to eventually just grab a rubber mallet in a second. But you're going to hit this in, so then when you put the cranks in, this is all one piece. It's easy. Don't forget your spacer either. Just like that. That's how you're going to put it in. And make sure to put some grease. I have some grease here as well on your spindle, so nothing rusts and, you know, everything goes in smoothly. So you're going to have your compression bolt right there. It's 6mm for these cranks. It will vary, but I'm going to say most times for cranks it's going to be 6mm Allen, and you're going to tighten this down to where it's even, and then you're going to, once this is all one piece and tight, you're going to insert it into the bottom bracket. But I'll show you guys. I'll get this together first before I show you guys that. Alright, now that everything's tight in one piece, we are going to throw this down. That is not going to go in easy. We're going to have to use a rubber mallet there. I will update you guys when that is in. Alright guys, now that we have the other side installed and everything is one piece, makes it nice and easy. You're going to throw this cone spacer on. This is the bigger one. Make sure the bigger one goes on the opposite side. I know this one looks tiny, but they're both kind of small. Let's see, this one's much smaller than that one. I tried to get it to match that color. It's close enough. And depending on your spline, and if you don't know what spline means, that's all these little ridges here. I'll show you guys my cranks. They go into that spline in there. This is a 48 spline. I'm used to, I think it's an 8. Most common bikes right here. That's an 8 spline. Much easier. This one's a little bit harder. You have to line it up better. So I'm going to take a couple minutes to make sure it's straight. It might actually be straight there. I like to give it a test like this. That actually looks pretty good. But just make sure to be aware that your cranks are, if this one would be at 0 degrees, I'd be at 180. Make sure they're at like equally far apart from each other. And you're gonna take your other compression bolt here. And you're gonna slap it in there, and you're gonna tighten them.